If you want to lose weight and keep it off without resorting to unpleasant dieting, then there's one word you need to get to know very well, and that's habits. As I'll explain in this video, understanding habits and how to change them is crucial to long-term weight loss. In fact, I'd go so far as to say anyone who has ever lost weight and kept it off successfully for life has changed their habits. A very popular book on the subject of habits is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how to take the lessons from Atomic Habits and apply them to the goal of long-term weight loss. But with a twist, because this is weight loss without dieting. In this video, I'm going to show you 1. Why you should focus on habits for successful long-term weight loss without dieting. And this really means that when friends and people you know are busy yo-yo dieting between different diets, you're going to be losing weight once and for all. 2. How to change your habits using the framework that James Clear talks about in his book. And thirdly, which habits you should focus on to lose weight without dieting. And in case you didn't know, I run a weight loss clinic where I help women over 40 to lose weight without dieting. And this is through a unique behavioral method that focuses on changing habits. So habits are very relevant to how I help my clients. So let's get started. Section 1. Why you should focus on habits. So the first obvious question is, why should you change your habits? After all, if you want to lose weight, surely you just need to eat less and exercise more. And if you're not eating less and exercising more, then you just need a little bit more willpower. But I think this is the wrong approach. This sort of thinking reflects the diet mentality. And if you've ever struggled with yo-yo dieting, where you lose some weight and then gain it all back soon after, this is the reason. The dieting mentality is very much focused on goals. You set a weight loss goal, you stick to the diet until you reach the goal. And in Atomic Habits, James Clear gives some good reasons, which if you apply them to weight loss, you can see why this goal-focused approach to weight loss doesn't work. Firstly, a goal-oriented mindset can create a yo-yo effect. If your goal is only to lose weight, you might get there, but then what? Often people will then go back to old eating habits and gain back the weight. This, if anything, sums up the need for a behavioral approach to weight loss. Instead of just focusing on losing weight, your goal should be, how do I manage my weight successfully for life? 2. Winners and losers have the same goal. Having a goal of losing weight isn't enough. Everyone has that goal. And writing down your goal, while nice, won't get you there. 3. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. You don't need to focus on the goal, you need to focus on changing the systems that get those results. In this case, the system is your eating habits. I always say to clients, the key to lasting weight loss isn't eating less, it's figuring out how to make eating less into a habit. So setting a goal and starving yourself until you get there is not a sustainable system. Instead, we need to talk about habits. So what is a habit? It's a behavior you repeat consistently without needing to think about it. Another thing about habits is that they are easier to do than not do. If you always go to sleep late, it's harder to break that habit and to go to sleep earlier. This is the power of habits. Once set up, they require very little energy or effort. As I say, the beauty of habits is that once changed, they can last forever. Section 2. How to change your habits. In this section, let's talk about the framework that James Clear uses to describe the steps of a habit and how to use this to create a positive new habit or stop an old bad habit. But before that, I want to talk about 3 principles of behavior change that will make your habit change journey much smoother and faster. 1. Self-monitoring. The process of behavior change always starts with awareness, and the best way to get awareness of your eating habits is by keeping a food diary. Write down everything you eat and drink. A food diary is so important that I tell clients that if they wanted to lose weight but they were only allowed to choose one thing to do, that thing should be keep a food diary. 2. Successive approximation. Most people don't even realize that this is abnormal, but think about this. On a diet, you're expected to suddenly switch from the way you were eating before, overnight, to perfectly following the diet. That's so bizarre when you think about it. It assumes that you're like a robot that can just turn on an entirely new way of eating overnight. And if you stray off the plan, you're either cheating, which has moral connotations, you're a bad person, or you give up and then you're a failure. I hate this perfection-driven way of changing behavior because for most people, it simply doesn't work. I found that a much better way of creating lasting change is by using the behavioral technique of successive approximation, otherwise known as shaping. This is where you gradually change your behavior towards a desired outcome through small, incremental steps. With this approach, you're not expecting perfection, and you're definitely not expecting it overnight. Instead, you're starting off small and gradually increasing the amount and difficulty. For instance, doing 1 push-up a day for a few days, then increasing it to 2, and then 3, and so on. And if you mess up, it's feedback, it's not failure. I've found this to be a gentler, easier, and more effective way to change your behavior, and it's the foundation of how I help clients at my clinic. 3. Forever changes. A lot of dieters do things that are unpleasant and depriving to lose weight. This is because they're simply fixated on reaching the goal and not what will happen after that. But a more long-term approach to weight loss is to only make changes that you're willing to do forever. At my clinic, I tell clients, if you can't see yourself doing it a year from now, don't do it now. Deprivation is a no-no. Only do things that are pleasant and sustainable. So now let's get into James Clear's 4 steps to changing habits. To create a positive new habit, make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. So let's talk about each of these from the point of view of successful long-term weight loss without dieting. 1. Make it obvious. So this is about cues or triggers to your eating or activity. This is one of the most important aspects of losing weight using a behavioral approach. You need to find a way to take control of your environment. You never want to eat something simply because it's there. I tell clients, make the helpful convenient and the unhelpful inconvenient. In other words, make it easy to go for a walk and make it hard to mindlessly snack on peanuts. So with this in mind, I spend a lot of time with clients taking control of their food environment. For instance, keeping a clear countertop at home in your kitchen. Don't keep a jar of cookies on the countertop like many people do. And don't keep food on your desk at work like many people do. And don't keep unnecessary snacks in your car, again, like many people do. Number 2, make it attractive. Whatever your eating plan to lose weight, it has to be something that is pleasant to follow. If not, then you're doomed because eventually you'll hate it, you'll get sick of it, and you'll stop. This is why a crucial aspect of a non-dieting weight loss approach is this principle. You are allowed to eat whatever you want. But how can you lose weight while eating whatever you want? I'll get into this more later, but here's the basic summary. If you don't allow yourself to eat what you want, for example, if you stop yourself eating chocolate, you make yourself desire chocolate more than if it wasn't forbidden. This increases cravings that can then lead to binges. The alternative is to allow yourself to eat what you want, but with guardrails around those foods. And one of the most effective is the golden question. I can have it if I want to, but do I really need it right now? And I'll talk more about this later in the video. Thirdly, make the habit easy. If you're changing habits, it needs to be something that is easy. And of course, you can increase the amount, the difficulty, the complexity later, but always start off small. I always ask my clients to make super small changes to begin with. Take 5% off your portions. So if you have 20 small potatoes on your plate, remove one of them. Exercise, spend 30 seconds walking a day. Some of these changes seem bizarrely minimal, but that's the point. At the beginning, it's not about doing enough to make a difference. It's about doing enough to create the habit. Once you have the habit of stepping on the treadmill for 30 seconds a day, then you can ramp it up. But it's always the habit that is the obstacle in the beginning. And the 4th step in changing habits, make it satisfying. There has to be some level of satisfaction. This is something that's very important in my one-to-one sessions with clients, appreciating and acknowledging positive decisions. Initially, the positives come from me telling them that it's a positive decision, but over time they become internalized and the client is then able to congratulate themselves for making positive decisions. Equally, they see my response to overeating, which is, it's no big deal, and that models a more positive, empowering response that they over time start to internalize, and so that they respond with more equanimity to overeating, instead of guilt, self-blame, and self-denigration that can then lead to more overeating. This is one of the biggest things I can do to help clients overcome this thinking of there's good food and there's bad food, and rather just think of it as just food. Section 3, which habits to change. If you want to lose weight without dieting, as I've said, you want to aim for small changes that then add up to large change over time. Don't make drastic changes and only do things that you're willing to do forever. So which habits can be changed? Let's look at 10. Habit 1. The first one is actually keeping a food diary. This is like a foundational habit because creating the habit of keeping a food diary allows the other habits to happen. And again, if we use the 4-step habit framework, 1, make it obvious. So keep the food diary somewhere where you see it all the time. And we can use habit stacking where you attach writing in your food diary to an existing habit. For example, let's say after you wash your hands after eating, then make it a habit to straight afterwards write in the food diary. Secondly, make it attractive. So have a nice looking food diary, attach positive feelings to the act of keeping a food diary. This is why I tell clients that a food diary is not to make you feel bad for what you're eating, but to uncover triggers and patterns to your eating. I want it to be a positive experience and not associated with negative feelings. Thirdly, make it easy. I say to clients, if a food diary takes you more than 80 seconds to complete, you're doing something wrong. It has to be as easy and as quick as possible. And fourthly, make it satisfying. Give yourself positive feedback for writing the food diary. Congratulate yourself, see the benefits. Habit 2. Clearing your environment of unnecessary food and temptation. Avoid situations where you eat food just because it was there. Make it a habit to always keep food out of sight. Habit 3. Eat slowly. Eating slowly allows the fullness signals from your stomach to reach your brain to tell you to stop eating. It takes around 20 minutes for this to happen, so the slower you eat, the better. Eating slowly is a way you can eat less without affecting enjoyment. In fact, you'll enjoy food even more. Habit 4. Relating to this is develop the habit of always eating sitting down, instead of while on the go or while standing in the kitchen or even while driving. Habit 5. And related to this is also make it a habit to take time to savor and enjoy food. Habit 6. Do walking every day. Walking, especially outside, makes you feel better and sends a powerful self-signal that you value your health and well-being. Habit 7. Harahachi Bunmei. This isn't for everyone, but some of my clients really love this one. It's from the Okinawan practice of eating until you're 80% full. And it's much easier to do this once you've created Habit 8. Observe feelings of fullness after eating and any associated negative physical reactions. This habit can help you to tune in to natural signals your body sends you about foods you've eaten. We all have them, but most of us have completely suppressed them. Once you tune in, your body becomes your ally to help you manage your eating in a healthy way. Habit 9. Drink water regularly. A good thing to do is keep a bottle of water with you and drink from it to keep track of how much you drink each day. Write this down in your food diary. And habit 10. Ask yourself the golden question regularly. I can have it if I want to, but do I really need it right now? And if you want to learn more about the golden question and how to actually lose weight while still eating what you want, check out this video. And I'll see you there.